This is Shaw. Shaw and Rule, they grew up together.
He doesn't even know I exist. Besides, he's got like a million girls.
Hi, I'm Caroline from CBR. It's really great to meet you both.
Hi there. Good morning or afternoon. I'm not sure.
I'm on the East Coast in Florida, so afternoon now. You both star as love interests in Marked Men, Rule, and Shaw. Can you tell us a little bit about your characters and how they resonated with you?
So I play Rule. Rule is a very tortured soul. The film picks up a couple years after his twin brother's tragic death, and he carries a lot of weight and responsibility for what has happened. And it kind of influences everything that he does, from his relationships to the way that he walks through life. And he's just a very interesting, sort of multi-layered individual who shelters himself from the world in a lot of ways, but also extends himself in a lot of the wrong ways. So it was a very fun, interesting journey to go down with this guy.
I play Shaw, who is hello, my little firecracker. I love her so much. She is someone who I think on the surface, it's easy to assume that she has everything together. She's a pre-med student. She's good in school. She takes care of herself. She's horrifically independent, probably to a fault. And I think she's used to handling everything on her own. And so when she is put up with Rule, she doesn't need him to take care of her, but I think having somebody to lean on is something that she's never had. She's not close with her family really, and letting her walls down for somebody, I think, is a new experience that she didn't know she needed so much.
And what was the chemistry like on set, not only just between the two of you, but the whole cast as well?
I think we had oddly good chemistry as a cast as a whole. A lot of casts, I mean, your coworkers, right? So you go to work, you get along, and then you go home, but we would hang out all day. We would go out to dinner, we would go out for the night. I think we all got along oddly well, and I think me and Chase had fairly good chemistry from the start. We had a chemistry read before I got the job, and I mean, I don't know how you thought that went, but I thought it went well enough, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we knew kind of immediately after words started coming out of Sid's mouth that she was about to take on this role and really bring it to life. And I think, yeah, just like Sid said, we got really lucky that we had a bunch of incredible people who were very passionate about telling the story and very passionate about having a good time while doing it. So we had a lot of fun. We made it the absolute best we could under, being away during the winter going into Christmas in Eastern Europe. And it was a chapter of life that I'm very, very fond of.
Do either of you have a favorite memory or scene from the film or while filming the movie?
Sid walked me around the park one time. I got a staph infection while we were filming.
Right, I
Um,
forgot about that.
Stuck in my room by myself for a couple days, and Sid came over and brought me some goodies and put my sling on, and we went and walked through this park, and it was just like a very sweet way of her, like, just saying, hey, let's get you out of the depths of this hotel room for a couple hours. So it was just like that, amongst like the rest of the cast was always checking in on one another. It was like a very beautiful group of people who all really, like, we still stay in touch to this day. Which is, I think, a rare thing. Sid, you were saying kind of that with your experiences too.
Yeah, definitely. I've had really great experiences with casts in general. I got very lucky with a previous project I did where I had a wonderful cast, and I truly thought that was never going to happen again. I had people tell me on set, like older, more experienced actors. They're like, "Yeah, that's definitely not normal that you're that close." And so for that to happen for me twice in 1 year was incredible. I felt so very lucky. There was not a single person on that cast that I couldn't go to if I needed something, which I think is just not super common.
Yeah, it's great to have that support system. Chase, Outer Banks was a massive breakout role for you, and it was recently announced that season five will be its final season. Meanwhile, you also have a couple of movies coming out this year, including Marked Men, Rule and Shaw, and Valiant One. How do you feel about Outer Banks wrapping up, and do you envision yourself working more in film rather than television for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, for starters, with the show coming to an end, it's very bittersweet. It's been something that has obviously changed my life in a thousand different ways, and um, I think with TV and with these shows in general, it's not how the plane takes off; it's how you land it. And I think it's important to end it on a good note and end it strong. And I think sometimes with TV, just because the viewership is great doesn't mean that the story needs to continue to be told. And I think that great stories deserve a great ending. And so I'm proud of the run that we've been able to have. And I feel like we've accomplished and set out everything that we set out to do, we have done. So I'm very a little bit nervous, but excited, nervous to go into this next chapter of my career. And then in regards to working in film, yeah, I've really enjoyed being able to have like a finite amount of time with a structured story that has a beginning, middle, and an end. And I think as an actor or as an artist in general, like when you have those parameters versus with TV, it's more difficult to arc the character if you don't know the direction it's going to go. And some of the choices you maybe make in the first couple episodes of the season don't track as well as you would like in episode 8 through 10 because it's shifting away from what you initially had prepped. So I think doing a film like this really opened my eyes to wanting to jump into the theatrical space more consistently because it just allows me to craft a performance that feels a lot more grounded and authentic.
And Sydney, you also got your start in television on the hit show Nashville, and I've been on several shows since, like Disney's American Born Chinese. What was it like making the transition from television and starring in this romance film?
I feel like for me, I do try to take characters, whether it's TV or film, sort of, I try to digest them in the same way and in the same um, importance. I do very similar prep for both. And then obviously with TV it is different because you're not sure where it's going to end up, but you sort of with film, like you make your choice and that's definitely going to be it. But I think in TV you still have to make a choice at the end of the day and run with it and make sure that you believe it and that you trust it and let that sort of guide you as you go. And if it changes, it changes. But I've been really lucky in that I've had really lovely characters to play that have felt a little bit more well-rounded and have given me a lot to go off of as an actor in general, and sometimes you don't always get that. You get, like, you're the friend or, like, you're this, and you don't always get to be a full person, which I feel really lucky that I have.
And Mark Maron Shaw will be released in theaters on January 22nd and 23rd. Have you both had a chance to see the final cut of the film? And if so, what did you think of it?
Yes, I have seen the final cut. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, like part of being an actor is you don't get to sort of see the process behind the scenes in the ways that you'd hope, and sometimes you remember a moment or a take that you love that doesn't make it to the final cut, and that's just a part of the process. And so I think that for this film, I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of the character, and I'm really proud of Sid and what we created with Roland Shaw because it feels very authentic and relatable, and I think it's a story that deserves a space in the world to be told.
I definitely agree. I personally find it very difficult to watch myself act because it is such a vulnerable thing, and, like, watching yourself get upset or watching yourself be vulnerable in any kind of way, I think is always going to be difficult, but I will say I enjoyed the movie as a whole, displacing myself from it. I've talked to, like, my mom loves romance movies, and she's like, "Oh my god, I would watch that every day." So I am very proud of it, and of course, it's always hard to remove yourself from it, but overall, I am proud of it and happy with everything in it.